Hey guys, Shower here. Did a video for doing oil and transmission fluid changes on my GKM 200cc go-kart. I really just wanted to start off with a short thank you for all the new subscribers and all the views that I've gotten since my last video. This is a small channel here, and I really didn't expect all that stuff to come from it. Um, but yeah, I really appreciate all the questions, all the feedback, all the positive comments, even a lot of tips for doing some maintenance tricks on this go kart. You guys have been great, and yeah, I hope to keep it up. Do some riding videos. I have some parts on the way. I did order um, a new intake filter. Um, it's a uni oil filter. I know I did say that the oil filters weren't that great for the dust out here, but I'm gonna give it a try. Um, I have noticed a little bit of power loss, and it's probably coming from the airbox. But yeah, we're gonna do a little upgrade on that, and then hopefully I can get to doing the better battery tray uh, rather than the ammo can I have strapped to the back. But yeah, been pretty busy since my last video. I work nights, so it's kind of hard for me to find time during the week to get to like the things I like to do. You know, get out there riding and look at ways of improving my little ride. But yeah, um, you know, once again, thank you all you guys for all the nice stuff. And we're gonna jump into getting the transmission fluid change. It doesn't take too long. I got some good tips from Wet Newts on how to uh, do it, and we're gonna do the oil change after that, and then we're gonna jump into just some little tidbits, and then a little short maintenance check flight for riding. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start at the rear of the vehicle. I'm gonna set my camera up. Here's our fluids that we're gonna be using today. Some 8090 transmission or gear oil, and some 10W34 cycle oil. All right, we're set up. This is the port I'm going to be filling from on the transmission. It's not the what the manual calls for. Um, the fill port that it calls for is a pretty sucky place to do it. It's right here. It wants you to fill from there, which is not a great spot. We have the drain plug on the bottom. Point out here in a second. There we go. There's the drain port. Pretty straightforward. There's two of them on the bottom. Not really sure why. I used the aft one and just went with one of them just to see what happens. Did actually drain pretty well. No issues there. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this open. This one was kind of weird. These bolts, when I broke them loose, they spun loose pretty violently. Maybe a little seized. Maybe the German torque standards they use for them were too Guten tight. But yeah, we're getting all the hardware off. We're gonna set up. Basically popping the top port, and then I'm gonna pop the drain port to make a drain a little bit easier. That way you don't have any fluid lock or anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the drain port on the bottom. I went and got a bigger ratchet because that little one that kind of freaked me out when it just busted loose like that. But this one also did the same thing. I tightened them in the end pretty good. I didn't use a torque wrench or anything because it's just really not that important to me. But yeah, pretty easy job doing the transmission. it didn't take too long. The longest part for me doing this job was finding the bolts that I put down um, afterwards. I put my my GoPro stand on top of one of them, and it kind of took me a while to find. Um, as I get this drain port um, bolt out, to be perfectly honest, looking at the fluid as it was coming out, it really didn't look that bad. I mean, after a year of kind of hard riding, the fluid really didn't break down too much. You can see it's kind of like an amber color. Um, the new stuff is more of like, say, like a little bit more lemon colored, yellowish. Not quite honey. It kind of looks like honey right now, but the new stuff wasn't much lighter. Um, this stuff, the gear oil, it also stinks pretty good. It's probably some of the stinkiest oil I've run across. I don't know if anybody's out there is running the same thing, but definitely does not smell like motor oil. Sure. All right, it's kind of starting to finish up here. I'm not too worried about getting every last drop out. The oil's actually in pretty decent condition, so putting new stuff on top of that won't necessarily be a bad thing. Not for me. I mean, it's a go-kart anyway, so I do all these things because I want it to last, but it's not quite a Lamborghini for me. All right, we're gonna go ahead and reservice. We have our port we're gonna fill in at the top, and we're gonna watch for the oil to come out the side. It's about 4 ounces. Didn't do precise measurements. I kind of just bought a bottle big enough to do this job. Probably one more time, but yeah, we're gonna fill it up. We're gonna wait for fluid to come out the side, and then we're going to close her back up, tighten it back down. All right, we have some fluid coming out the fill port. It's slightly over service. We're just going to let a little bit of that fluid come out, um, so way that we don't have a great excess. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt back in. And then we're going to tighten everything back down. And we're pretty much done with the trans fluid. As you can see, if you can see it, no, it's kind of hard to see in the video. The new trans fluid is more or less clear. It's kind of a yellowish color, and the old stuff that we had just previously drained out was more of like a honey colored. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, kind of like yellow Gatorade ish. Yeah, we're just gonna let that fluid come out, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the fill port plug back in. I don't like how they named that one the fill port. It's so much easier to do it from the top. And once again, that was a suggestion from one of my viewers. Made it probably like 10 times easier. I don't know how I would have gotten it going that through that fill port. to the oil portion. We have the drain plug down here. We're at the rear left of the vehicle. That's where our oil drain port is. We're going to go ahead and get our camera set up as unprofessionally as possible. All right, so taking a look at our oil coming out, it is pretty dark. I've seen worse. I mean, I've gone longer without oil changes. The one thing that I'm looking for when we're doing this, and that's pretty important, is uh, a silvery color. If you're seeing a silvery color coming out with your oil, that means your something internal in your engine is breaking down. Whether it's the walls or it's basically metal shavings within the oil. It gives it a silvery color, metallic color. If you're seeing that, then you're gonna have a lot of different problems. All right, here we have the data plate, engine data plate. If you're wondering if your engine is a legitimate Honda GY6 engine or a Chinese clone, your data plate is right next to your drain plug. Um, you can go ahead and actually Google that number, and you will find information telling you whether or not it's a clone or the real deal. Mine is a clone. It also gives engine specifications as well. Looks like we're getting drained. We're gonna put the plug back in, close her up, then we're gonna move around to the other side and put in some brand new oil. Now we're gonna go ahead and fill our engine oil back up. You just go right where the dipstick goes in. It takes about 1 quart of fluid. Um, Pretty easy. I usually just go until it starts coming out of the fill port. Let that stop. Put the dipstick back in. Check our levels. Usually a little bit over serviced at that time, but that's not too bad. Um, Pretty easy. Oil changes are pretty easy. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, not really, but for me it is. It's just take oil out, put oil in, and always make sure to check your oil when you take it out to see if you have any problems, like metal chunks coming out. Is always, bad sign. All right, let's fire her up. See how she sounds. Sounding good. Yeah, I think we're done here and ready for a ride. I think the only way to really successfully test whether you've done a good job or not is to get that cart going as fast as you can. Get it to its top speed, run it through, maybe climb a little hill or two, and then, yeah, it's calling it a day on that one. Yeah, not too bad. Maintenance is pretty easy on this. Maybe I'll go through, I really need to wash it. I have a pressure washer, I think I'm lost motivation for busy work schedule. But yeah, it definitely needs to be cleaned. Uh, the drive chain to the axle in the back definitely needs to be cleaned and re-oiled. That's something you really want to take care of too, because once your teeth start wearing down on your axle, that's game over. You're gonna have a lot of slippage, and you're gonna have loss of power, and eventually you're just not gonna have any power because teeth are gone. And then to replace it, you will have to remove the entire back axle, and it's something I'm not looking forward to. Uh, my future, maintenance-wise, we're looking at tires. All the cactus needles in the desert, man, have really taken a toll on my tires. I've already green gooed them, and I have to refill my front right or front passenger and my rear driver's side. They tend to get pretty low, but I make sure that you really should make sure that you check your air pressures before you go out. Um, it will, low tires will cause a lot more drag. Could cause a little bit weird steering and stuff like that too. I mean, you should really go through a good pre-flight check for this every time you get in this. I mean, that applies to anything. You have an ATV, you have a dirt bike. I mean, even your car. Like, you really should, check up on it before you take her out and bash her around in the desert. If you're taking a car and bashing it out in the desert, that's your personal choice. No, just joking. that's it. Thanks for watching the video. Next video will probably be a little bit more on doing that air filter upgrade, and probably finally getting to washing my go-kart and re-oiling the things that need to be re-oiled. I'll probably wind up buying a new set of tires. I was thinking about getting some tires from Go Power Sports because they have pretty good prices on pretty much a 4-pack of tires. Maybe V-tread or turf. I don't know quite yet. But yeah, the tires on Massimo's site, the stock tires that for this cart, they're like $80 a piece. And I think on GoPowersports.com you can find them for about $50 a piece, which is actually a pretty good deal. Unless, you know, of course, that you have somebody you know that can get a better deal. That's what I have available to me. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the comments and the likes. Man, I really appreciate it. It's kind of nice seeing my channel pop like this. I know I said in the last video I used to make a lot of gaming videos, but go-karting has kind of become like a new passion of mine, and it's nice to see all you guys out there with the same passions, you know? I mean, what are some karts that you guys would like to see or drive or, you know, work on or mod? I mean, one of mine that I would really love to have, and I'd really love to get my hands on, is I've seen a lot of videos on Manco Super Deuces with 600cc motors in them. They sound like hot rods. Pretty awesome. If I could get my hands on one of those, that would definitely be like a modification labor of love. But yeah, Gyro Sports here. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.